We said it 3 times. No, you're not. That's problem. Are we good?
I have 2 screens, apparently. There we go.
Oh, that cropping is going to get me, Jeannie. And the lack of listening to when I told you things. But fine, this is fine. We're good. This is good.
It's fine. It's fine.
We're good to go. Hi, welcome to Take a Breath. This is our after show for our session yesterday. I'm Nerdy Encounters. I play Amelia / Charlotte, depending on the moment and mood of the character. We have Tanari, who plays Olivia, our gangrel. We also have Junie, our wonderful storyteller.
Hi.
Junie's muted. There we go. Nope.
No, I fixed it.
Is it fixed? You
Yeah,
fixed it?
Because
How?
I'm a drunk.
Okay.
Sorry, I looked at the wrong screen.
You're okay.
Missing a few of our normal people, which is fine. So yesterday's session was a mess.
Yeah.
They rode the wave. It was beautiful.
We
Fucked
had
up so hard.
we had the meeting at Nix's bar with Amelia and Olivia with Olga. We had Gwen coming and fixing some of James's fuck up with his time stuff.
Frank.
Yeah, Frank, not James.
Yes.
We had trying to figure out where William was because William fucked up again, as per usual. We found William, and then
the best surprise was that the Tremere actually used a ritual to find William, and William wasn't expecting to be found for a couple weeks. So that was to planning.
In the notes that we got from Sai, who plays Gabe, it was the whole session. I did not go to medical school for this. Gabe, while cutting up William. And now I did go to medical school for this.
Yeah, I love the C-3PO idea.
Yeah.
That was
the amount of willpower that was burned on that. Oof. Oh my god.
I have to say that roll-off wasn't just a roll-off. That was an epic
It was a roll-off of the ages.
Yes.
Yep.
I was like, oh my, wait a minute. You both got, how do you guys get the same amount? This isn't.
It was a dick measuring
The probability of this bullshit is not normal.
It wasn't just dick measuring, Sai. It was measuring, weighing, distance, all of it.
How appropriate their thrusts are, how deep they go. I mean, it was like, the fuck.
After William got C-3PO'd, we
have to now make that a thing. C-3PO'd.
In the trunk.
Yes.
We had the party split. We met up at the Chicago Hilton where there was apparently a big party. And the session ended with a bang.
Literally.
William was safely in the trunk, yes. And Olivia got kidnapped. That was a thing.
Oh, we
are
forgetting.
Abel's reaction was very, very underplayed.
I'm sorry. I'm not good at Abel.
Abel's just going to explode next week. That's what's going to happen.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the best part of all of this is that we actually had a huge open debate about how to cut bacon properly.
We did. We debated on how bacon was cut, what needed to be rolled for bacon to be cut, which I still think needs to be strength plus dex.
But the thing is you'd also have to do melee because it's actually a melee weapon.
She could just be karate chopping the bacon for all I know. She has claws.
You're not wrong.
Oh my god.
It's true. You do have claws.
That's such a mess, though.
Oops. It's a mess, but it's the truth.
Yeah. Bacon Gate.
Wow.
That's it. When we become affiliate, we need a bacon emote.
Well, I know somebody who can do that.
Who do you think would be doing it anyway? Hi.
I know. That's why I'm saying. Will you go away? Thank you. So not
Let's see. New NPCs. Anastasia.
Fuck you.
You want to give us any background for player knowledge on that, Junie?
Oh, Anastasia. Yes.
Yes.
I would be more than happy to tell you about Anastasia. Apparently William likes to delve into different circles. Lots of different circles. And this just happens to be one of the coteries he deals with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Anastasia and Demetrius. And
yes,
they are part of a old coterie he was acquainted with back in the day. And he kind of found out they were in Chicago, and he rolled a couple things, 3 weeks ago, that he was trying to get in contact with all of his old friends, and used a lot of Streetwise to find out some buddies. Well, with that, he wanted a vignette. And I was like, okay. Well, we found after Bacongate the perfect time to actually do that vignette. And so we spent about 10 minutes giving William that shining spotlight because he was supposed to. And again, when you have a plan, you execute the plan. The plan goes into the garbage, so lights yourself on fire, and then the storyteller's in the corner crying.
It's that Gru meme where this is the plan. This is the next.
We were all in the corner crying at some point this week.
You're not wrong. What had happened was that we were actually working with that vignette he was doing, and he wanted to make sure that William was gone for a couple weeks. He did not, however, expect the Tremere to track his ass down. So, needless to say, the vignette was basically William executing an idea of planting a lot of things on Josh and having things go back to Josh and going, oh, you did this and this and this, let's do a revolt because you're a sucky-ass baron. Well, that did not go as well as one had hoped. Because the exact place William was trying to avoid, he is now in a trunk that is warded. So technically, he wanted to avoid being in Chicago.
He's also staked in many, many pieces.
I mean, he's not on fire, which means he's ahead of about half the people upstairs.
This is truth.
If not more than half.
This is truth. However, he is still in Chicago on July 3rd, and in a place...
But he has the best alibi ever. He's cut up, staked in a trunk.
And how many people don't believe that wasn't part of his plan to prove that he didn't actually do all the explosives?
I would like to point out that we left him alone down there, by the way. If that car's gone when we come back...
Oh, he's not alone. Artemis didn't go with us up the elevator.
Nope.
I was about to say, if you left Charlotte behind, I want to know how.
Also,
I have my ways.
Artemis actually knows several Tremere that owe her boons.
Hey, Sai, I don't think you're going to have to put Humpty Dumpty back together again, which is great since you also left a note of not knowing how to put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
So, this is the best point where I come into play going, oh, no. You will be able to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. However, Humpty Dumpty is going to have a several-week lecture.
Yeah.
And Humpty Dumpty is going to be sitting on somebody's couch, not able to move.
Yeah.
However, he will not go into torpor because somebody actually knows how to handle putting IVs into people and making sure that blood is forced into their bodies.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, no. No. Gabe will be able.
White House.
Yes. He will save his not only past white ass, but his pasty white ass, too.
Yeah.
This will happen.
This is fine.
I promise. Art's just going to give him the longest lecture of his life.
Which is
Very
funny since,
long
Amelia's
lecture.
the one who trained him.
Yeah, but the thing is that he didn't tell Art he was back in town. He didn't tell Art that what he was doing, nor did he inform Art of what was going on.
Yeah.
And they had an accord way back in the day.
Yeah.
And so where he took care of her when she was recovering from things, she's going to return the favor
Yeah. Um,
in the most happiest of ways.
Ow.
so I think we're at the point of talking about what our characters will be doing in preparation for the next session, which since we're in another time freeze, how are we handling that?
Well,
I'm a
Do you
I'm a
need
shank a
goals?
bitch as soon as we get back in. That's what's gonna happen.
That. Actually, have we technically hit our goals from the last session? Because it hasn't been a week, it's been one night.
yes, it has.
So
And
so you don't need goals yet.
No, I do not need goals. However, as you've seen from yesterday's episode, some of those goals might change, and
Amelia's going to change because two of her goals were absolutely lecturing Artemis and William.
yeah, that's not going to happen.
I'm still going to keep Amelia's goal of using her 3-point library to look into Sybil.
That's
I feel
fair.
like that's a good goal.
Mhm.
Still, it's still relevant.
Apologize to Abel for being an idiot.
No, Abel needs to apologize to me for being an idiot.
I meant me.
That too.
Storyteller will apologize to Abel because I don't know how to play his character.
No,
Yes,
no, you do
you
not.
definitely owe Abel an apology.
Yeah, you did not do his reaction justice because he
Um,
would have been flipping. You
Something
were worried
about a
him being
frenzy.
able to play that intelligence. You can't play that intelligence.
There's no way I can play that intelligence. I'm sorry. I mean, don't get me wrong. Hands off to Zed for playing a 1-dot intelligence character.
Yeah.
Hands down to him playing it as brilliantly as he's doing. I can't give that character justice, nor was I trying or able to. So, being that I knew we had to move the story along, and I knew that there might have been opposition and a fight, I'm like, look, I've got to wave over a couple things. I'm sure
Yeah.
we will be rectifying that next Saturday with
Oh
everything.
yeah, I hope so.
And I know that we're going to be having to talk about that. That's not a big deal. Right now, for your guys' goals, is how do you survive the next half an hour?
Yeah.
Shank a bitch.
Now, here's the thing. We have 2 vampires in an elevator.
I thought we had more than 2 in an elevator.
Mm-mm.
We had 3 vampires in an elevator.
Oh, yes. Okay,
Me,
3.
Yeah, Amelia, Gabe, and Abel. Frank took the stairs because, irrational fear
Because
of
he can't
elevators
do
from last
anything
season.
normally.
No.
Irrational fear.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the best part is that if you all remember season 1 with elevators, the worst part about this is that they're all stuck in an elevator, and there was a big, huge explosion where all the elevator stuff is at. So,
Yeah.
good luck with that.
Yeah. I'm honestly not sure
That will
how
be fun.
we're gonna get
Where
out of
is
that.
Sparkles?
Sparkles.
Is she in the elevator?
Sparkles is looking for you, so probably on the stairs because you were trying to get a cat in an elevator.
In a box.
Yeah, we didn't have a box.
We also need to have people come up with some more names for the cat.
No, Amelia exclusively calls her Fluffbutt.
I know, but I'd like a little bit more naming.
No. It was each character has a name for the cat.
I know, but
You don't get to pick more names for the cat because that's the way the characters are.
Artemis can pick a name for the cat.
Yay!
Artemis can pick a name for the cat.
Now I have to think of a great name now.
Yeah.
But you guys there's 3 people caught in an elevator. You got one on the stairs, and then Olivia is actually being hugged from behind tightly and pulled out of the way from a fire. So, as much as she would love to shank a bitch, she'd actually have to get her hands or arms free enough to actually try and shank a bitch from behind.
I'm still gonna try.
That's fine. which BB Gangrel, go for it. I'm thrilled. Might not happen. We'll see what happens with the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dice.
And I will
Good
say
thing you haven't used any, much, if any, willpower,
I used
right?
2 willpower. I'm 2 willpower down.
Oh.
That frenzy roll, that last frenzy roll, I got all 0, and I was like, oh, hell no.
Oh no. That would have been a bad. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I'm down 2 willpower.
Let's see. So, obviously, Olivia's going to be trying to shank the bitch who kidnapped her.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Olivia does not take this well.
Well, you know what? I find it funny. Olivia really hasn't had that much introduction into vampire, so now you are really getting your introduction into vampire.
Yeah, it's unfortunately quite a lot like the crime family issues that she's dealt with in the past.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Except more powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little more, oh, sweet God, why?
Well, that's because somebody gently decided to, do this, that, and the other thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was...
Gently.
Gently, it was soft.
I don't think you know what gentle means.
Yes, gentle.
It sure as hell ain't what Gabe did.
It's that soft, almost gentle caressing and cuddling of things.
No, you don't know what gentle means.
There you go. Have fun. If you fall off the landing, I'm so sorry, but you have to learn how to fly sometime.
No, you don't know what gentle means. Not at all.
This explains so much about the cat.
But Kitty just wants to be loved.
Kitty is being loved.
Kitty.
Being loved about like my cat is loved by a 3-year-old.
That's
Swamp Owl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
That's pretty much it. Yes, you were. Yeah.
So for as much of a mess as the session was yesterday, there wasn't actually all that much accomplished.
Actually, there was quite a bit accomplished.
We accomplished a great deal of.
Yeah. It wasn't a huge span of time, so there's not a huge amount to go over like there are in normal sessions.
True.
We accomplished a great deal of, oh God, what did we do?
Yeah.
Well, so what was supposed to be William is missing for a couple of sessions turned into William is missing for 30 seconds. Because
you should have known that was going to happen.
Actually, no, I did not. I was not planning. That came out of left field. Hi, how are you? Because I didn't think Gabe was going to take lead and go find him. I did not think that Gabe was going to go, oh yeah, I know where this bitch is. I can just do this ritual and do this. Yeah. I did not honestly plan for that because I had it in my head that Gabe was going to be like, yeah, okay, so we'll look for papers and all this other shit. Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll go to Josh and talk to him. All right. Oh, we got all this information. All right. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And that's not what happened at all.
So the entire bloody session was, oh God, why?
Yes.
Yeah, it was ad-libbed.
And I'm like, oh, fuck. Because I had a whole shit things I've done listed and written what I was going to do. Like, okay, they're going to go from here. They're going to go to here. They're going to go here. I had all of that. And I went, nope, fuck it.
So it was that grooming again. This is the plan. This is the next step of the plan.
Please tell me there's nothing on your wall in that corner.
There's now a notebook.
There is now the notebook. Just flow right over there.
Yeah.
I was so disturbed. I didn't even put my shit away. So
yeah.
I'm like, oh dear God. So literally, yes, there was a plan. I had a plan.
Plan is gone. We have no plan now.
The plan decided to fuck off.
Yep.
Go into a fire, turn around, cackle and laugh at me mockingly, and I just decided to, ball over and cry.
I haven't turned around and mocked yet.
Well,
what we know Artemis's plans at this point are lecture William, right?
Oh, it's more of pop the trunk. Well, first get the word off. Pop the trunk. Take William. We're going to go to the lake for a minute for William.
Okay.
And then from there, we're going to go to her hideout. From there, we're gonna go to her old apartment building, and then her new house, which was the house for the coterie during the second part of first season.
Right, when we were in the time bubble
Right.
that Artemis had gotten.
Mm-hmm. And she's just gonna kind of, she's trying to find out where she wants to hang him at. Because right now he's a beautiful piece of art that needs to be, hung and appreciated for a bit.
Okay.
And you know what? He's not even here to contradict me and say no.
He's really not.
Screws aren't even loose for Artemis anymore either. They're just gone.
Well,
Oh, you're assuming Artemis had screws in the first place.
Artemis, okay, and I don't want to go back. Okay, so when Artemis was created back in first season, she was a very quiet, genteel Malkavian who handled and dealt with art. Very relaxed, calm, collected. The reason why she has progressed so far is because Ruby, who was her caretaker, had her own child right down there, to deal with, and Artemis didn't have that constant care anymore, and she had to take care of William. As things progressed, the unbinding of the constant being in a zone or constant being in a fog was no longer prevalent, and you got to see just how unhinged she is. She's also normal, ironically enough. She's a very genteel southern lady. It's just how she handles things, because she's now unhinged, is a bit more out of play and out of sorts than most normal people in this day and age would take care of. So, yeah.
So does chat have any questions?
Because I can go on all day about Artemis, but still.
Right, yeah. No, I've heard you go on all day about Artemis.
I may or may not be playing her on a server, so it's kind of funny to play her as an NPC here and then in a PC over there. So it's that counterbalance of what I do know and what I don't know. But with Tanari, with Olivia, what I'm enjoying in this season, compared to having all baby vampires last season.
We're all babies.
Is that we actually get to focus a little bit on her training and how she can handle things.
And how we are all crap at training. I don't know how William turned out the way he did.
I don't know either. I mean, what I really find entertaining is that seeing how Amelia and Gabe have this mom and dad kind of relationship going on.
And how there is somewhat of a, well, what did mom say?
But the funny thing is Gabe is falling into, or not Gabe, Abel is falling into that kind of like brotherly, older brother kind of thing with Olivia.
Yeah.
How do you feel, Olivia, on this?
It's odd. I'm not used to not being the parent.
Go on.
It's just weird. It's an interesting way to play it.
Yeah. Any last comments, character thoughts, player thoughts?
Oh, Olivia's
So a
still
lot
on it.
happened,
Boy, I
but it was a
fucked this
short
up.
amount of yeah. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode of Take a Breath, just because it was a lot, but not a lot. It's just the best.
Yeah.
Well, also, I think with everything that's gone on, you guys got to see actually in this episode, everyone got to shine in their own way and in their own time.
Yeah.
No, it was a well-paced episode for what we did.
And the funny thing was that it was all, you know what, I think our best episodes are usually when I've got a plan and you guys go, nope, that's not how this is going to work. This is how it's
you don't
gonna
control
work.
the pacing at that point. We do.
Right. And I like it when you guys do that. It's just trying to get you into that zone. And you guys have to fall into that zone.
Yeah. We need to have a reason to end up in that zone, which isn't always the easiest thing for storytellers.
And that's like, if you guys have seen that TikTok where it's like, oh, you shouldn't be playing D&D. The D&D, you shouldn't be playing D&D because you're giving your soul to somebody. And then you see the GM go, wait, you could do something and make them actually go according to plan? Please tell me more.
Yeah.
That's the hard. I think that's one of the biggest challenges as a storyteller. Is you're writing all of this stuff, and you're writing this outline, and you're like, okay, I want this to be like the best fucking session that these ever have had. You're gonna love it. You're gonna want more. You're gonna scream, shout, and all this shit. And it actually turns out to be the worst session because it wasn't. It wasn't that we planned it correctly. It was more the fact of that timing wasn't there.
Yeah.
And that's what's really, really hard is to find that timing for you and Gabe. Once you and Gabe go in your tangents, and then Frank is trying to scoot up trying to get into that little groove thing, and then Olivia's like, well, I'm going to go over here and do my knitting. And Abe's just like, huh? I can't write that shit. It's hard to get you guys into the same room in that dichotomy to do that epicness that you guys did yesterday. That shit that I can't write.
I feel like it helped that it came back with Frank the next day unfreezing, and then all of the stuff with Gwen, and then just Emperor's New Groove.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I had to come back to us with me going, but Emperor's New Groove in Malkavian fashion to the Tremere, who really doesn't give a fuck.
Right. And I think that was funny because you're looking at it from the standpoint of not only mixing in pop culture and the understanding of what's going on in the world, but trying to bring that into Vampire going, how the fuck does Disney have to do anything with death, shit, and vampires?
Well, you take this box and you put it in another box, and you take that box and you put it inside another box, and you ship that box to yourself, and then you hit it with a hammer.
And I was specifically not quoting correctly because
you knew it would get to me.
Yes. But the best part is that the way that you handled it as Amelia, talking to Gwen, who's 200 years older than you.
Amelia gives no fucks.
But the thing, that's it. You handled it with a way that was like, no, she's not saying this right. If you're going to quote something correctly, quote it correctly. Yeah. And Gwen's just like,
what just happened?
Pretty much.
Malkavian happened.
And the best part is that when she's playing that Malkavian part of it, it's most people think of Malkavians going into fish milk.
Right, and that's what I'm always worried about with Amelia, is that I'm going fish milk. When really that's a little bit of how I actually react to things.
And many people go, people think, oh, fish milk, you're running around with a fish, you're acting stupid and crazy because you can. But it's a lot of people's quirks and tics that make the Malkavian play so well. And with how Amelia does it, how William has done it, how I have done it, it's not just saying, oh, we're running around with a fish trying to hit people over the head because we think it's funny. This is how those quirks work. And I like it how Amelia, even though when she has to switch over to Charlotte, she still has that bit of Malkavian quirkness to her.
Even though Charlotte's slightly more calculating venture.
Correct. But you still have that quirk. And that quirk is what really keeps everything going. And that's what I really enjoy. And I really have a good time with that. With Olivia, being that Olivia is still learning how to be a gangrel and learning what gangrel is.
What is vampire?
Yeah, I'm getting past that stage, sort of.
What does Olivia actually want to learn? I guess it's my question.
Olivia is still hanging on I'm going to find my family and I'm going to beat them both to pulp.
That sounds about right.
Has Olivia turned herself to her sire and the thoughts of her sire so far?
Mostly on who the hell is this idiot? I don't know. You're not giving us much to work with there.
No, that's fair.
Got a point there. We know he's Sabat, and we have a name, and we have a name, so, I could find out information.
That is a start, yeah.
I just don't remember the name, because I am terrible with names.
Yeah, well,
we've renamed Olivia's father 4 times at this point.
I think so.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. We really haven't done I've been bad. I'm sorry. Um,
Oh, that's fine. I should have it written down somewhere where I can see it too, and I don't.
That's okay. Well, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of if we can turn around. I didn't know if you guys were interested in that at some point. I mean, I'm going to be eventually circling back to that because now that Olivia has been kidnapped, that will become a point of topic and discussion because
Yeah.
that's not what Olivia was planned on to be. Wait, what? Dun dun dun.
Yeah, no shit.
So there's a lot of people contesting why is Olivia and not what people had planned on for Olivia.
Yeah, Olivia's basically gone, okay, there's this I can't deal with all the information that's missing here. So we're just going to stick on these
With what
things
we
here
know.
and the jerkwads that got me in this position in the first place.
You're not wrong. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think Anastasia had thought that this was going to happen. And being that the explosion was so hot, going down 2 stories was going to set off a blaze to the point that it took out that as well. So you have to remember all those prominent people that were in there, if they didn't leave that party, because again, certain people did leave that party. Who survived and who didn't.
Yeah.
And if you guys all know and remember, the prince was not there at that party.
The prince was not there.
Is the prince? Who is the prince?
The prince right now is Tremere.
Yes. She
Okay.
has not been disposed yet.
Yeah, this is in the time period where we're kind of almost in between princes from first season,
Right.
where the Tremere prince got overthrown by Aventru.
Basically, I didn't have Chicago by Night, so therefore I did not.
Well, it wasn't out yet when we started.
This is correct. It was just about ready to be released, and I was part of the kickback, the Kickstarter.
The
for that.
Kickstarter. Yeah. So the time jump just happened to fall at a good point where Chicago by Night had been released. And that meant that we could have a story reason for all of the Primogens and the prince to change.
Right.
Okay.
And so now it is now you're seeing that change happening, and you're able to now see
From the other side of the change.
right, because I kind of hand waved over explaining what had happened.
You gave us some bits and pieces, how it was betrayal and all that, but not
Right.
much because we were dealing with other things.
You were dealing with a whole lot of other fucking shit,
Yeah.
and I really was not going to bother with trying
Yeah.
to explain it all. But now that we're in that time period, I can now fill in all of that great, wonderful, yummy goodness of and have other people react to it because they're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So power changes, shifts, and if you all remember, there are certain people in this coterie that were Camarilla at some point.
Right.
So some people might be getting tapped.
We'll see.
You'll be
Not me, Gabe. So I think with that, we're just about done for today.
I think I'm good. Does anyone have anything?
Okay.
Good.
So
Give me 1 second. I'm checking.
go
right now.
follow all of these wonderful people. They also stream World of Darkness. They are wonderful, amazing people. Go follow all of our players for our VTM session. They are all wonderful, awesome people. And go follow our socials. We have a YouTube, a Twitter, and an Instagram. The VOD from yesterday's session should be going up tomorrow. And you can join us again Saturday at 2 p.m. EST for the next episode of Vampire Last Breath. Love all your faces.
See you guys all later.
Bye.
Bye.